So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to keep your chickens on a fermented feed diet 7 days a week. And I'm going to show you how I do it. Stay tuned. Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the Homestead. Sorry about being scruffy, and I don't put my makeup on for these films. I'm Homestead and I'm busy. I got things to do. I've been working out trying to get my lavender planted all day and last few days, but this is what it looks like to be a homesteader. So, but that's a whole nother. Hopefully you guys watched my video on will fermenting chicken feed save you money. If you did, kind of saw that it is going to work out for my situation and most likely yours as well. But there are some challenges of maintaining fermented feed, constant fresh feed for 7 days a week. So it is a time sink, but I'm going to show you how I do it today. The first thing that you need to do, step one, is determine how much feed your chickens, of the fermented feed that your chickens are going to eat on a daily basis. Now in the previous video, I already kind of know how much my chickens are going to eat. So that's what we're gonna go with that amount, and then we're just gonna start making it. I'm gonna keep you with me. We're gonna show you this for the next 7 days. I'm gonna try to keep the video as short as possible, but you'll see the process. Step one, determining the amount of feed. For me, I'm gonna use 3/4 of a bucket, a 2-gallon bucket of dry, and we're gonna make it in 5-gallon barrels. To have a continuous flow, you only need 3 buckets. I'm going to use 4 buckets because I want that day to clean, sterilize, and dry out my last bucket. But you can get away with just 3 buckets. Alright, we are going to start with a brand new, oh look, open here. You guys ever have problems with these things not coming off? These guys told me what side to pull from. Alright, nothing special. Egg rationing, 16% pellet. Nothing fancy here, no smoke and mirrors. About 3/4, maybe. Actually, there's marks on the side. There's marks on the inside here. So 6, let's be semi-precise, 6 quarts. 6 quarts in here. Alright. That's going to go in to my first bucket. Now I got to fill this with water. I'm going to do it bucket by bucket just so you can see how much I'm using. It's not ideal, but we're in here in the garage just to kind of keep it out of the sun, keep it semi-temperature. And no, Tractor Supply does not sponsor me. They were closed. They had buckets. I bought them. That's it. That's 1 bucket of water. 2 buckets of water. Alright, now I left a little bit of water in there. Let's see, what does that say down there? Oh, first line. 2 quarts, 2, 4, 6, yeah, 2 quarts of water. So 6, 12, so 10 quarts of water I put into this bucket. Let's take a look at it up close and personal. So you can see this bucket's about 3/4 full. And we're going to start with that. I'll let you know if I add more water, because as the pellet soaks it up, it may expose a lot of it on the top. So I'll let you know if I add more water to this or not. I'm not going to bore you with all the mixing and stirring and all the other stuff. If you want to know how to make it, you can watch my other video. I'll put a link up here somewhere for you guys to click on to see that. But yeah, today is day 1 and we are currently done. See you tomorrow. Alright, hey everybody. Welcome, not welcome back. You've probably been with this video since the beginning, hopefully. But anyways, today is day 4 for me. It's the 4th day, but only 72 hours, 3 days of fermenting for my first bucket. Because technically day 1 is day 0, 24 hours later is day 1 of fermentation. So, I don't know, it's day 4, okay, of this whole entire process. First day, second day, third day, empty bucket for day 4. You can get away with 3 buckets. The amount of days that you want to ferment your food is how many buckets you're going to need for the rotation. So if you prefer a 4 or 5 day ferment, then you're going to need 4 or 5 buckets. For me, I think 72 hours is just enough. It's short enough to where I don't have to deal with mold so much, and it's long enough to where it's fermented quite nicely. Right about day 2, it's when it really starts to bubble, and I'll show you each step of the process here on the day 3, day 2, day 1. And for me, I'm going to go ahead and start my 4th bucket. You can typically feed your 3rd bucket and then refill it, but I want to leave that 3rd bucket to clean up and dry out to help me avoid mold problems. So I'm going to go ahead and get this bucket started. Alright, so that's going to be 4 buckets. Now, I still have quite a bit left in this 50-pound bag. I'm thinking that I've got 2 more buckets in here. As a matter of fact, let's see what this looks like. Maybe 1.5. There's not quite a full, you know, it's maybe half a bucket. But what that means is out of this 1 bag of food, I'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of feeding out of 1 bag. So that means 6 bags of food for a 30-day month will feed my flock. So before it was it was a bag for 2.5 days, so we were looking at 15 bags of food per month, and it was way costly. This is going to save me lots of money for me. I can also try whole grains and other things like that that I might be able to get on the cheaper than this, but for now this is what I have, this is what we're going with, and we're going to go with it. So I'll get water in this a little bit later. You pour this back in the bag. Keep the mice out of it. We'll start that one in a little bit. Let's go ahead and throw the cover on it. And then let's get you guys over here to show you these buckets. Alright. So, this is day 1 bucket. So you can see that it is not quite, oh, look at these bugs in here. Well, a little bit of extra protein for the birds. So you can see there's quite a bit of water on the top, which I could actually let this settle and scoop that out, which would be nice, but for this video purpose I'm going to mix it up so you guys can see. It's really mashy. I really feel like it was maybe a little bit too much water in here, but so you can see when I mix it up like that, it's bubbling slightly, but for the most part it's slowing down on its fermentation process. So I'm going to put the lid back on day 1. Let's take a look at day 2. Alright, day 2 is typically when it's doing a lot better. You can see without me even touching it, right here we're getting quite a bit of bubbles in here, and if I mix it, it's going to get even crazier. This is when the process really starts to go. And you can see that before I stirred it up, it was all below waterline. So that helps keep the mold out of it. But again, it's still really, really mushy. And there's just quite a bit of bubbles in there. That one's really starting to ferment nicely. All right. Okay, so this is day 1 over here. Not a whole lot. It's looking a little foamy. Hasn't really started the process yet. So it's got a ways to go. But by the time we get to feeding, that one will be ready to rock. And then of course, this will be my next one. So that's pretty much the rotation process. I mean, it's really simple. It does take time every day to start a new bucket and to stir it a couple times a day to make sure, come out here and check on it to make sure that it's not being exposed to air and molding. Keep in mind, the viewer commented about the plate. Give that a shot. I just haven't got a plate yet. That will also help avoid mold problems. But I would suspect that if you have chickens, you're collecting eggs every day. You're probably checking on them every day. You're already feeding them every day. This doesn't take that much more time to do. So, you know, if you're in a financial crunch or things are getting short and you just want to try something different, highly suggest giving it a shot. Let's go out and feed these birds this. All right, so I got my bucket out here. Now, just to explain a little bit about my process, I have 2 types of chickens and 2 types of turkeys. This is the teenager coop, and you can see all my birds here. I've got the light Sussex and I've got the Morons. Those are the 2 types of chickens. I've got the Kentucky bourbon turkey there and the blue slate in the corner there. Okay, so I free range them, a set of chickens and a set of turkeys together. So on the outside are the free rangers currently, the Sussex and the blue slate. So they free range today. They won't get fed while they're free ranging. I expect them to go get bugs and grass and do whatever they're gonna do. The other birds, which would be the Copper Morons and the Kentucky Bourbons, are in the other coop. So the teenagers in that coop is gonna get fed today. And then tomorrow they'll be free ranged, and then these guys will get fed. So that's how I'm running the operation to help save with free ranging, to help save on food. So let's get these teenagers some of their stuff, and then we'll go from there. So bear with me. I'm trying to do this one-handed. See how well it's gonna work or not. Ooh, that's probably overkill for the teenagers. But yeah, they're gonna, oh yeah, these guys are like, let me at it! I'm like, let me at it. All these birds are flying. So yeah, that was overkill for them, but we only have 1 more coop, and look at all that food. So we're gonna have plenty left over. Now, this is temporarily, so don't nobody yell at me about the condition of my coop and all that good nonsense. I understand it's not very good, but I'll get to it. Let's get in here. Get back. Get back. Nobody's coming out. It's feeding time, folks. All right. So they're going to get quite a bit more. All right, that's also quite a bit of food for these guys. All right. All right. So gosh, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, I don't know, about 18 birds in there maybe. Somewhere around there. Okay. All right, so teenagers and the birds in prison got food. They all got quite a bit. I still have quite a bit left. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give my free rangers a little bit. Just because I'm feeling generous today. I wanna see how much I have left in those bowls at the end of the day. I may do a secondary feeding this afternoon. Oh, come on. You guys are pooping in your bowl? That is not kosher. Not kosher. All All right, we're gonna give them a little bit. All right. All right, so I did run out and give a little bit to my ducks, just a tiny bit. But you can see there's about maybe an eighth. Yeah, there it is right there. About an eighth of a bucket left. That will give us enough to touch them up to this afternoon. If they eat it all, you can see that I did give them quite a bit. Yeah, so we'll check back in this afternoon and see where we're at. All right, ladies and gentlemen, homesteaders and chicken enthusiasts. The teenagers ate the whole bowl, to my surprise. So they're gonna get a little bit more for this afternoon. It is 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and they ate it all. So now we gotta go and check the larger coop. And I already know that they ate it all as well, because I checked it earlier. And that was quite a bit. It's 3 o'clock. So it's 5 o'clock. We're gonna go give them their afternoon fill up. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. All right. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. Just loving it. What is this? All right. All right, so it's the end of the day of day 4. You see my 4 buckets. I cleaned that one out just now. That is the one I fed today. It will stay empty and be able to dry. Tomorrow I will feed this one, clean it out. It will be empty. Then I'll fill that one. So as long as I just continue to move to the right. So empty, then the next day I feed that one, fill, empty. Next day feed, empty, or feed, then it will be empty, and then fill. And then you just keep moving down the line so you don't ever get your stuff mixed up. So there you have it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and maybe it helped you figure something out. Maybe you have too many chickens that you can't afford to feed, you're thinking about getting rid of, or maybe you don't have enough chickens and you need more, but you can't afford more chickens. Hopefully this can help you out and solve your problems.